I'm currently filming this video when I have ribs waiting for me. Does that show you how much I love you guys? Hey there guys, this is Samantha, and today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up and April-May TBR. I don't know the months of the year. I don't know what order they go in. So yeah, but I was just looking at all the videos that I posted this month, and it was pathetic. It was truly pathetic. I posted like 2 or 3 videos this month. Last month, because this is the first, but still, this is saddening. It's kind of making me sad inside. But still, let's just get on to my wrap-up and whatnot. Usually I would have a what did she buy this time section, but I don't have any of the stuff that I bought with me at the moment. It is currently coming in the mail, so maybe I'll just sneak that into my book haul for this month. I have quite a few of those things to haul, books to haul, so maybe I'll just sneak my what did she buy this time into my book haul so you guys can actually see what I've bought. But let's get on to what I've read this month. So the first book that I finished this month was The Selection by Kiera Cass, and I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite book that I've ever read, but it was interesting, it kept my attention, and I will be picking up the sequel to see where it goes from here. And it was a little bit predictable, but most young adult novels are, but that's why I enjoy them, because they're easy reads and all of that. And hopefully there'll be a few twists, but we'll see. The second book that I finished this month was The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin, and I absolutely loved this book. It was more of a, I really liked it to one point, but then like once it started going, I started to like it more. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Let me see. Yes, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and it wasn't until the very end that I absolutely loved it. I couldn't figure out why I loved it, but I just did. It was a really great read. It wasn't like the most amazing book I've ever read, but it still deserved all 5 stars because it made me feel things. Didn't cry per se, like kind of feel things, but it would just made me so happy and made me so happy to be part of the book community and reading books and all of that, because it just brings people together, and I just love this book. I would highly recommend it. The third book that I finished this month was Forbidden by Tabitha Susuma, and I liked this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I don't know how, it took me so long to figure out what to give this novel for a star rating. It was executed well. Like, it wasn't dirty, disgusting kind of thing. It was executed well, but it's a touchy subject, so this is definitely not for everybody. And I just don't know how to describe this book because it was just so different from what I've usually read, just because of the subject matter. Sorry I can't give you a better description, but I liked it. I don't know if I'll be rereading it anytime soon, but I'm glad I picked it up. The next book that I read and finished was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and this took me forever to get through. Like, I felt like I was reading this for so long. Like, it didn't feel like the story was dragging, but it just felt like I was reading it for so long. I liked this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I don't know how I feel. Apparently that's how a lot of these books are in this month. There's stuff that I liked about the book and there's stuff that I didn't like about the book. I think I loved the love story, but Mr. Rochester just kind of bugged me quite often. Just, I'm so terrible at describing things right now. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I liked the book. Again, don't know if I'll be rereading it anytime soon, but I liked it and I'm really glad that I read it. The next 3 books that I finished were Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study, all by Maria V. Snyder, and I fell back in love with them. I remembered why I loved them so much. I gave them all 5 out of 5 stars again, because they're wonderful, and I loved them. Oh my gosh. Like, Poison Study was definitely the best out of the bunch, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the other 2 books in the series, but Poison Study was definitely the best one out of the 3, but yes. And then the last books that I finished that really aren't really books, but they're listed as books on Goodreads, so I'm just going to list them off. There were the 3 short stories that were on Maria V. Snyder's websites that are Power Study, Ice Study, and Assassin Study. And then Power Study and Ice Study actually happen after Fire Study. So those two stories have to be read after this one, or they may give away stuff. But the Assassin Study takes place after Poison Study. It is like 1.5 or something like that, so I won't give it away if you've read the Poison Study. But sorry, I'm looking at my phone, but I can't remember because there's so many of them. I gave Ice Study and Power Study, the 2 that you read after Fire Study, I gave them both 4 stars, 4 out of 5 stars. They weren't as good as the books. Maybe it's just a thing about short stories because I'm not a huge fan of short stories. I'd much rather read a novel, but they didn't really strike my fancy. I liked how Power Study was told from Janko's and Ari's. I think it was told from Ari's point of view as well, but it was at least told from Janko. And then Assassin Study was just Valak, just completely Valak, and I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't really like them. It wasn't that I didn't like it, it just wasn't what I wanted. It just was kind of meh, wasn't really that great. But yes, those are the only books that I finished this month. And then I started Shadow Study, and I'm kind of through, not that far. I'm about a 4th or a 3rd of the way through, and it's starting off as not meh, more like a 4 stars at this point in time. Hopefully it gets a little bit better because it's a little bit anticlimactic at this point in time, but I'm hoping it gets better. I'm praying that it gets better so that I worship it like I worship Poison Study. But I'm super excited to keep reading this and finish this book so I can tell you guys what I think about it and all of that. So let us get on to what I plan on reading next month. Of course, I plan on finishing Shadow Study, my baby. Of course I plan on finishing it, but I digress. Let's go on. I did not pick up Salted by Erin Galvin last month, so I plan on reading it this month. Hopefully I get in the mood to read this because I know last month I was just not feeling the book, didn't really want to pick it up, so I picked up a different book. But hopefully I'll pick it up this month. The next book that I plan on reading, sorry, my foot's going to sleep. The next book that I plan on finishing is Animal Farm by George Orwell, and I just really need to read a George Orwell book. And this is a short one, so hopefully this is a good one to go into. So super excited. I'm pretty sure I wanted to read this when I was younger, and I started it, but it wasn't what I thought it was, so I stopped reading it. But now that I'm a little bit older, I legitimately thought this was going to be about not anything political. I thought it was just going to be a farm book when I was obsessed with farming and all of that. Harvest Moon for the win, by the way. I'm super excited to start this book. I'm super excited about everything. I'm sorry, but I really want to start this book, and I'm super excited about it. Yes. Next book that I'm going to be reading is Cut by Patricia McCormick, and I read this when I was younger. Don't remember anything about it other than the self-harm aspect of it, and I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I'm gonna start it. It's really short. It's pretty large print, and I think there's about 100 pages in here, 150-ish pages, so I'll be on this for a day. The next book is one of the books that I'm most excited about, is I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell by Tucker Max, and I've become obsessed with memoirs lately. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm so excited because I think this is going to be super funny because this guy sounds like a douchebag, and he's okay with it. So I always love some people who are okay with them being douchebags, because nothing's worse than a douchebag who pretends to be nice. At least he knows he's a douchebag, and hopefully he's a funny douchebag. There's that. And sorry for that repeated word 50 times. I'm sorry. I just like that word. I'm sorry. The next books that I plan on reading this month is the Ashes of Twilight series by Cassie Taylor, and I'm pretty sure I got her name right, even though I didn't look at the author's name. Yes, I did. I'm proud of myself. But I've read the Ashes of Twilight book, but I have not read Shadows of Glass or Remnants of Tomorrow, and I'm super excited to read these. Just like every other book that I'm ever going to read, I'm always excited while reading books. And honestly, I'm not too familiar about what these books are about. I remember it's a dystopian book. I think it's when they're in, let me see. Yep, and this book is a dystopian novel where the the people in the world are in a dome and they are not allowed out, and they basically just the main character is a coal miner for the dome city, for basically just for the rich people to use the coal and everything like that, and it's a miserable life. And just, I know I liked the first book. I probably gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. That's usually what my requirement is for me to buy the rest of the series and finish reading them, but yes. And then the last one that I just bought, like, I don't even think that I've put this in my book haul yet, but I saw it on my, I saw it on a recommendations list, and I was just absolutely loved the storyline. And then, is it just me, or does it, like, really excite people? Like, I really want to know this. Does this excite you when you find an author that has the same name as you? Like, if I find another, like, if I see an author with the name Samantha, I just get super excited. I don't know why, but I just want to buy all the books by people named Samantha. I don't know. Probably because I'm not talented in writing, so I just want to know that there actually is somebody who's talented, whose name is Samantha. I don't know, I just get excited. But yes, back to the book. I'm going to be reading Between the Lines by Samantha Van Leer and Jodi Picoult. Samantha Van Leer is not the main girl, not the main author's name, not the one in big writing, but it's still on the cover. I'm assuming she's still important. But I ordered this book because of a recommendation, but then I saw the illustrations when I looked through it, and then I am so into this book now. I have not even read the first page, but I am so flippin' excited just because these illustrations. Like, look at these. I am so excited. I just want to look at the pictures. Is that bad? I just really want to look at pictures. When a book has pictures in it, it automatically makes the book better. Like, literally, the book could be like a 2-star book, an okay book, not okay, a not so great book, but if it has pretty pictures in it, automatically puts it up a star. So, I already know this book's gonna be good. At least a 1 star, even if I don't finish the book. Pictures are pretty, so 1 star automatically, yes. But those are the only books that I have planned to read this month. Hopefully I get through all of them. I hope I do. I'm excited. I want to. It's gonna happen. Yes, I'm already gonna tell you now. It's gonna happen. Oops. Cross my fingers. But yes, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed watching because I sure as hell love talking. I will see you guys next time.